Delmar is no longer the boy who ran through the dusty roads of the village. He has grown up and become a student at the local university, though not the most prestigious. But it is a huge step for him. Now he is 19 years old, tall, strong, with a short haircut and a confident look. He is no longer the withdrawn boy who was laughed at school, but the past won't let him go. He still has to fight for a place in the sun. But now he's not alone. Next to him are two loyal friends, Josh and Fred. They met in high school, and now they study together and support each other. Josh is tall, thin, always cheerful, and able to find a way out of any situation. Fred is sturdy, reliable, with a quiet but deep mind. The trio are not just friends. They are like brothers who were brought together by fate. Despite their studies, they have almost no money. Delmar still works part-time, but his dream is not just to survive, but to build something of his own. He often thinks about the future and looks for ways to escape poverty. Josh and Fred don't want to put up with a life of poverty either. Every day they discuss ideas on how to make money, but so far everything remains just dreams. Every day after school, Delmar, Josh, and Fred go to the car wash. It's hard work, but they have no choice. They have to earn money. They wash cars from early morning to late evening, often without even having time to eat. The customers treat them differently. Some thank them, and some look down on them as mere laborers. As they labor, Josh makes jokes to try to lighten the mood. But Delmar has other things on his mind. He realizes that they're wasting their energy, and the money is going into the sink owner's pocket. The thought pops into his head, what if we open our own car wash? He shares the idea with his friends, and they start discussing how it could be realized. After a long day at work, they gather at Delmar's house. It's a small room, modestly furnished, but it's the place where dreams are born. Delmar takes a piece of paper and a pen, draws a diagram, writes calculations. He suggests that everyone invest some money and rent a small plot of land. They can start simple, a bucket, rags, soap, whatever they already have. Fred shakes his head skeptically. It's not that easy. We don't have any startup capital. Josh laughs. Well, if we save money on food, maybe we can save up. At this point, their conversation is interrupted by an old uncle, Delmar's neighbor. He has heard their conversation and decides to offer some advice. He tells him how important it is to believe in your dreams, but to keep your calculations in mind. The boys plucked up courage and approached the owner of the car wash, an elderly man named Mr. Kamau. He listened to them with interest. Well done for thinking about the future. But why should I trust you? He asked. Because we've been working for you for 6 months and we know all about the business, Delmar replied. We can bring in more customers and make the service better, Fred added. Mr. Kamau thought for a moment. After much discussion, Mr. Kamau decided to give them a chance. He allocated a small amount of money and part of his sink for them to try out. The boys were delighted. They immediately got to work. They bought new equipment, came up with promotions for customers, and made a bright sign. At first, things went badly. No one knew about the new car wash. Then Delmar came up with a promotion. Free wet cleaning of the salon for every customer. It worked. Great idea, bro, Josh complimented him. We need to keep getting creative, Fred added. Business was going well until one day a disgruntled customer came to them. Your prices are higher than others, he said. It turned out that a large car wash in the neighborhood had lowered its prices to lure customers. If this keeps up, we're going to go broke, Fred said worriedly. We need to stand out so people will choose us, Delmar thought. They urgently needed to come up with a new strategy, or their business could collapse. Delmar, Josh, and Fred were brainstorming. They were looking for a way to beat the competition. "What if we wash cars right at the customer's house?" Delmar suggested. Everyone loved the idea of a mobile car wash. They bought portable equipment and started offering a mobile car wash service. The first customers were delighted, because now they didn't have to spend time traveling. Word of the new service spread quickly. People started recommending them to their friends, and the orders became so numerous that they could hardly keep up. "We need help," Josh said. The guys hired 2 more workers and expanded the team. Now they could service more cars in a day. Their income began to grow, and for the first time Delmar felt they were a real success. When Delmar made his first big profit, he immediately thought of his family. He bought new clothes for his younger brothers and helped his parents pay the bills. When he handed his mother the money, she couldn't hold back her tears. "You've become a real man, son," she said as she hugged him. That moment was special to Delmar. He realized that he was doing this not only for himself, but also for his loved ones. Each month, things got better and better. Delmar, Josh, and Fred realized it was time for the next step. "We can't just depend on the drive-through car wash. We need to open another stationary location," Fred suggested. They rented a small space in a busy neighborhood and hired 3 more employees. Now they had a full-fledged car wash with professional equipment. When they opened the new location, customers lined up. The business grew, and Delmar was no longer just a student moonlighting in the evenings. He became a real entrepreneur. One day, he gathered his friends again. "You know what I realized? This was just the beginning." A year later, Delmar's business became known throughout the city. They opened several more outlets, hired dozens of employees, and were now earning many times more. Delmar realized that entrepreneurship was his destiny. He bought his first suit and went to meet potential investors. He was no longer a poor kid dreaming of getting out of poverty. He was now a young and successful businessman. But there were even more opportunities ahead. Delmar knew his story was just beginning.